Hello, stampers and crafters. This is Kevon from ktstamps.com, creating cards for you. And this is an early morning Thursday humpback Wednesday that I forgot to do yesterday, and I am doing that with you right now. So sorry about that. I completely forgot. Didn't feel very good. Blah, blah, blah. So I'm here today. So thank you for joining me. So this is the sketch we are using today. And it is from craftwithsarah.com/card sketches. Now I did this so it was printed on a full page, but then I changed the measurements. All the measurements can be found in my or on my blog. All right, so this is our card that we are doing today. And I am using the new Stampin' Positioner. Now, on the inside, we have this beautiful flower. And what I did is that this is from the Detailed Succulent. I used, I did this with Pretty in Pink, and then I stamped off really, really well. So it was really a light shade. And then in full strength, I came back with this, because this can either be a 2-step or a 3-step. And this looks beautiful with 3 different colors on it. So I just went with this, and I just have a blank inside. So then the outside is done with the Flowers Fair. So that's what we're using with this. And then the Hugs and Loves are done with the Greenery Lane. And I need to make sure, I have to go someplace really quick to grab my Memento ink. So I'm sorry about that. I forgot to grab the ink when I came. Okay, so this is stamped off just with this succulent flower. And I just stamped it off twice, I think, for it just to be a highlight in the back. And then I used the Flowers Fair. And then I just got out my blending pens and I outlined them all, and then I colored them in. Went dark and light, and I will share the colors with you in just a minute. This is Azure Afternoon. All right, so our cardstock on the bottom is Pretty in Pink. Our ribbon that we have is the Pretty in Pink bordered ribbon. We have, again, our brushed brass butterflies that we're using, and we're using 5 of them. And then these are all the colors that we are using. And let me grab everything so we have it ready for it all. Card base with the flower on the inside. You can see the difference. I didn't stamp off twice. With the darker flower, I just stamped off. And then you have the outline is, again, full strength, Pretty in Pink. I already have this mounted, and this is Balmy Blue. So that's what's on the outside of that, with Stampin' Dimensionals on the back. So we're going to play just a little bit, getting rid of everything. We're going to bring in the Stampin' Positioner. And let me walk back really quick. So we have the shaded Spruce combos. We have the Daffodil Delight Stampin' combos. I'm just using both of these, but I did the darkest Azure Afternoon and the lightest Balmy Blue to create these. These are done in the Daffodil Delight. The leaves are done with both the light and the dark shaded spruce. We have the bubble bath, light and dark with the flowers. And then with the bigger flowers, I used the dark Highland heather, and then the light fresh freesia. So that's what I used on the colors. And we're going to come back to that. All right. So we're going to bring out our flower, and then we're also going to bring out our Stampin' Positioner. This will be coming out March 3rd. So this is one where you put, it has a magnet on the bottom where these can hold down your cardstock. They pull apart really easily. The back part is where the magnets have the biggest platform, so you can, or surface I should say, so you can go ahead and stick them down on the cardstock, and they hold the cardstock pretty well. I found with this one it didn't, because the surface only means that you're putting them in the corners, and that just the bottom lifted up. So I went with some of the Sizzix. I had some Sizzix sticky, and that's what I put down on the bottom. And all I did was stick it down, so hopefully the stamp stuck on it. You have these big holes at the top, which go on the outside. And then you have these little bouncy things at the bottom, and that will help you stamp down. So when you press down on it, all the surface will make contact with your paper, and then come on up. So this is a nice wide surface. And then you also have a small little one that fits in between here that you can press on. And this is fun for those that you want to repeat the words over and over and over again, and that will just work down the line. And you can turn your paper where it can be vertical and it can be horizontal or landslide at the same time, so you don't, this doesn't have to be this way to try to create. So you'll just turn your cardstock differently and come from a different side. I guess that's going to be the best that I can say. All right, I'll show you that later on. The pamphlet is right here, so you can just follow along. There's lots of videos out there that also have how you can create this. So I'm going to just take my piece of paper and I'm just going to put it right up against the top. The top has, I don't know if you're going to be able to see, it has hash lines. Where the dots are, it has hash lines up there. So you can say that it's 2 inches, then you have your 1/8, and then you have your 1/4. If you are doing paper differently than I am, you can stick the paper, it has a nice little triangle in here, and that will, without having anything sticky on it, that will help you hold down your paper. All right, so that also gives you the hold. But this time I just decided to go straight on. And I got from the middle out, it's about 2 3/4 on both sides. So then what you do is you take out your stamp set and you lay it down and position it wherever you want. And all I'm doing is taking it off. It looks like I'm ripping more than I really am. You're going to get it exactly where you would like to have it. And as you can see, my surface is really big. That's why I have this sticky at the bottom. So then I can lift it and hopefully it's not going to take everything off. So I'm going to put this down and then I'm going to push on the back of the photopalmer stamp. From here, I'm going to lift it up nice and easily. Now you can see that it is starting to lift. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to just try to take it from the front and just pull back on it and lay this down. And again, this is just sticky paper from Succulent. All right, from here, then, I'm just gonna move this out of the way. I'm gonna bring in my Memento ink and I'm just going to ink it up. Yes, I am stamping in my house coat today. I wanted to get this out yesterday, but sometimes life just takes different changes, and that's what happened. Just had a life change. Okay, and I like being able to stamp it with the stamp down and my ink on top. From here, we're going to bring this back in, turn this over. So right now, nothing is touching the paper. So once I press, it is now touching the paper. And all I'm going to do is kind of rub it back and forth. Sometimes you can go down and up really easily. This one, because it is such a large detailed stamp, you may have to stamp a couple of times. And we'll look and see. That's pretty good. So let's take a look. So you can see most of the time I miss it right in here. And if you've missed something, then all you're going to do is ink this back up, put it back down, press again. Okay? So that's how the new positioner works. And then from here, we're just going to lift this off, and then we're going to start to color. Now, with the magic of our camera, I have everything already colored in. And again, these are my colors. So we have the blues, Azure Afternoon, and Balmy Blue for the blue flower. The smaller little buds, I went with Daffodil Delight. The stems on all the leaves, I did with Shaded Spruce. We have the Pretty in Pink with all the open flowers, and I only did 3 of those. And then the purple flowers were Fresh Freesia and Highland Heather. So that's what we did. All right. So now we're gonna just put this all together. So we're bringing this in. And let me get this out of the way. We are just going to take our silicone pad. Yes, I had another thing that I did, but I wanted to just use this paper because it was the right size. And when you're stamping with your photopalmer stamp set, please make sure that you use the piercing pad. Oh, oops, before we do that, before I lay it down all the way, which I'm going to tear it now, forgot to put on the ribbon. So you can see there's some tearing that's going to go on. It's just what happens. when you forget to put the ribbon down. So I'm going to take my ribbon and put a glue dot on the back. And then I'm just going to put it at about 1/4 of the way down. And then I'm going to come back and do some surgery in just a minute. So from here, I am just going to bring in my liquid glue because it works the best. And I'm just going to add some liquid glue on the back and also on the ribbon. So I'm just going to press that down. That's how I do surgery. Quick, easy, not a lot of complaints. From here then, I have to tear up the bottom. And I'm going to do the exact same thing down here. We're going to get out our glue dot again. Tried not to get the ribbon very long because I wanted to make sure that I don't have to tear out very much. Let me see. And from here then, we're just gonna, whoops, glue some of the bottom down. Again, turning it over. Just pressing it down. Sorry about that, you guys. All right, from here, we're going to just remove the 5 dimensionals that I used. And we're just going to put them just right on the side. And that's going to also hold down the ribbon. And from here, we're going to finish with our butterflies. So I used one of the big butterflies on the sentiment. So it just, so you're looking at it and seeing that there's just a nice little sentiment right there. And then from here, I'm just going to put some of these. I made some mistakes when I stamped down, so I covered that mistake up. So there's one. And I'm going in different directions. There's 2. Here is 3. And one more. Put it down here in the corner. Makes 5. So I have one left. I'm going to just go ahead and use it and put it on the inside. So that's all I'm doing with this one. All right, so everything is ready. And I just can throw away my package now. So from here, I mixed up, let me get this out of here. I mixed up my Stella and alcohol. And now I'm going to give them a spray. And this is just on the back of my page. It's for my basketball. And I just don't want a lot of color down at the bottom. So now I'm just going to lean away and give that a spray. And then you can see how everything starts to shine. And that is my card. And it'll take just a little bit of time to seal, and then you got it. And then it turns out like this, and you can see the beautiful shine on it. So that's my first card. Again, quick, easy, and then you got a little tip on how to use the Stampin' Positioner. Now, the next card we are using again with a splash of Sparkle's specialty paper. And remember, specialty paper means that there's either some gold, silver, copper involved in them. Look at this paper. We're using this. This is the paper that I used. I've done another card with this. Look at the pink. That's just very random. Purple, you know, the Highland Heather, the different pinks, the Azure Afternoon, Pool Party, the down at the bottom we have a darker green, which is our shaded Spruce. Look at this with the gold, and then with the Timid Tiger. I mean, this is just beautiful paper. Again, it's already out. You can get it right now. So we also used the Paradise Garden, which is coming out on the 3rd of March. This is the card we're creating. And what I did this time is that I did a different fun card. And so you have a fun fold that's available, and then I changed the colors for the box. So this is in Pretty in Pink, or I lied, Bubble Bath, and down below I have Pool Party. This is in the Balmy Blue with the Azure Afternoon. On this ribbon, this is the Bubble Bath Faux Linen ribbon. And I just used it on here. On the one that we are creating then today, we have the Balmy Blue sheer ribbon. And again, these are just hair ties that I'm using on my ribbon so they don't float away. On this first card, I used the 2004-2006 in color flat pearls. On the next card, I am using the frosted iridescent dots on it. Okay, so, and I'm also just using a piece of the DSP on the inside. Again, another card that I didn't write anything in because I thought sometimes you need blank cards so you can write stuff to friends. So that's all I did. I also used the Wink of Stella to color in the flowers. All right, and again, these dimensionals will be on my blog. So with this one, we're going to go ahead and we're going to give this one a good fold. And I'm going to do the outside too, because I really want it to lay down. And here, and they should meet right in the middle. And we're just kind of breaking down the fibers so it will stay closed. When we start to put it all together. Okay, so on the inside, I am just going to put this at the bottom. Again, the base has different score marks. And I love fun folds. And what we're doing is that all we're taking out the either piece of cardstock or your ribbon and just made it into a fun fold. So that's all I did. So we're going to turn this over. And this one, we're going to use a little more of the blue. Let me see how it... That's the way it's going to go. Let's bring out this. All right. There we go. That's down. And then we'll have this down. And all I'm doing is putting 3 runs of adhesive on it. And again, trying to match it up at the top so it's as even as possible. So there's the front of our card. And again, I just used I wanted to add just a little bit of the pink. The pink is in the corners and a little bit in the background. And then the white, the flower, again, from Paradise Garden. And then I die cut the flower out and just put it down on the paper with sheer Balmy blue ribbon. And I forgot to put on my dimensionals. And all I did was I just added 5 to it. Not much at all. You guys, thank you for being with me this morning. I'm really sorry I forgot to do everything yesterday. It was all ready to go, and the only thing I forgot to do is get on the camera and record. So we're taking this off, and we're just going to add this to the card. Ah, did you see what I did, guys? You can't put this, you can only put this on part of the card, because you want to be able to open up the card. Boy, I am really good at that today. So now I'm just going to put this, there we go, and so it opens. Otherwise it would have stuck together. And then I have my 5 dots, and I just use these blue because the blue is balmy blue. Okay, and this just goes in the garbage. And those are my cards. After I was done with the stamping part, then all I did was add some of the Wink Stella in. That was it. So you guys, these 2 cards. Very fun. I really have enjoyed creating these. Next week, we're going to have a blast from the past. So I'm going to use some retired things to put together a couple of cards. So these are the 2 cards that I used today, or that I did today. And I'm really glad that you guys joined me. Thank you. Please give me a like, give me a thumbs up, subscribe, do whatever you need to do to just keep me stamping. I love what I'm doing. So again, this is Kevon from ktstamps.com, creating cards for you. And remember, make sure that if you are on Facebook, give that notification ding, so when I post, you know I'm posting. So you guys take care. Thank you very much. Happy hump day on Thursday. Almost the weekend. Bye-bye, everybody.